They did not. They did not initiate this course renovation, and people wonder why would you renovate that golf course? It's just it's one of the best
PGA
in the world.
No.
But it wasn't a PGA mandate. This was an Oak Hill driven decision. They wanted to get the course a little bit closer to the original Donald Ross design from the 1920s. They brought in Jeff Sluman, who obviously is the professional who has played the course the most. And then they hired a new architect to take a look at this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a major renovation, but they're tweaking it just enough to where they can bring back some of Ross's design principles, given, there's big changes in the modern game, which is why it won't be the original Donald Ross layout. But it's going to be interesting after this tournament is over. The biggest thing, though, Leo, that people are going to probably wonder, what the hell are they doing? Probably the most famous hole at Oak Hill, and it certainly is not the best hole by any stretch, but the sixth hole, the par 3, was where the 4 holes and ones were made, and that really is kind of a calling card for Oak Hill, nationally and worldwide. That hole's going away. They're blowing that hole up, and they're going to build a new par 3.
Now that hole was put in the around the 70s, late 60s, 70s for one of those events, and it always seemed here you got this beautiful layout, and that when they did that, a retweaking there.
Right, they stuck that hole in.
That hole just kind of like, they had to put it somewhere.
Yeah, but actually, to me, though, it's a good hole.
Yeah,
it's always been a tough. The creek comes around to the front and to the left. It's not
what makes
an easy hole.
Oak Hill so great, and then the few times I played it, and it's torn me up. I mean, the sand is everywhere, and that creek comes into play on many holes.
It does.
And the greens are so many tiers. And another thing they're doing, and of course the massiveness of these trees that they planted way back when with Dr. John R. Williams. But that's another thing that they're doing. They're taking back some of these trees because they want, and that's the biggest thing I think for the membership is going, wow, this.
Yeah.
But you know what? I guess I get it too, because the experts out there will tell you that the shade is ruining a lot of the grass, ruining a lot of some of the greens, so they have to take some of these things back now.
Yeah, they've taken hundreds of trees out. The problem was they got so big that they've actually infringed on play in some areas, but the biggest thing was it was getting tougher and tougher to grow grass. So you'll notice, for people who go out there next week who have been out there in the past, you're going to notice a big difference because there are far less trees and you've got more wide vistas to look at the golf course when you're out there. I remember I played out there in September, and I hadn't been out there for a couple of years. I was startled by the change. It really is noticeable when you get out there. But again, that was all part of the plan. The blowing up of the greens was part of the plan, and they believe when the 2023 PGA is back, they're going to have a great course on their hands.